Welcome to Tamara Research Writing Guides. I'm Elpies, your AI-supported instructor. In this video, we will learn how to write a research paper conclusion. Subscribe now and never miss our research paper writing guides. Research paper conclusion is the final thing you need in the writing process. But it's not simply concluding things, it's also the moment when your ideas resonate and stay with your readers. So we want to show you how you can end your research paper to leave a lasting impression on your readers. Let's first break down a conclusion example. So this is a research paper conclusion focusing on the impact of melting ice on polar bear habitats. This example shows how to use the tips and tricks for a well-written conclusion. First, it starts by summarizing some of the points of the paper. Right after that, we see a reference to the thesis statement that argues polar bears are significant in preventing climate shifts. Then the writer highlights the importance of their findings, which state the reasons why polar bears are related to their habitat's health. Following this, we see a powerful statement about the topic, but you can also use a question in this part. And in the final sentence, the writer closes out by helping readers reflect the subject to their own lives. So now we have a great conclusion example on hand. Let's start with the first step to writing one. The first thing to do before writing the conclusion is understanding its purpose. There are three main goals of an effective conclusion paragraph. The first is summarizing the paper. So you need to avoid introducing new ideas. Instead, summarize the key points you've mentioned in your paper. The second one is emphasizing the importance of some of the things you said previously. Think about the things that you think are the highlight of the research. This is your chance to remind your readers about them. And the last thing a conclusion should do is obviously conclude the paper. This is where you wrap up the narrative and provide your readers with a sense of closure. So you're basically saying, we've covered a lot and here's why they matter. As we know what to look for in a conclusion, we can start writing it. In the very first part of your conclusion, briefly summarize the key points in your research paper. Think of this part as a quick rundown that will help readers remember some of the arguments. For example, if your research paper talks about the impact of climate change on polar bear populations, a key argument can be that melting ice caps disrupt the bears' hunting patterns. In this part, the most important thing is to understand that not all arguments are the same. So make sure to leave unimportant details and focus on what really matters. Once you summarize the key points, shift your focus to your thesis statement, the central idea you've aimed to prove in your research. This helps with creating a coherent paper and provides closure to it. You need to keep in mind that restating thesis is not copy-pasting. Instead of using the same sentences, give it a twist and make sure it aligns with the conclusion's tone. For example, both of the thesis statements in this sample basically argue the impact of climate change on polar bears. But the thing is, they are completely different sentences. This means that the user only provided the main message, but with different words. This is how you should refer back to the original thesis. Once we restate our thesis statement, we can now highlight the importance of this paper by talking about its impact beyond the original context. So, you need to broaden the discussion in your conclusion by exploring how your findings have further applications to more general fields. You can also talk about how this paper fills knowledge gaps or inspire new research opportunities in your topic. As you can see in the example, the writer goes beyond the subject of polar bears and implies that the research applies to other top predators and their environment. This is a great way to highlight the importance of your paper so the readers know it's more than just the paper's topic. In the final part of our conclusion, you need to create a sense of closure for your readers. So how do you do that? You can engage your readers by asking thought-provoking questions to encourage reflection. Our example here manages to create this sense of closure by highlighting how the reader's actions go beyond their lives, but also impact the well-being of other creatures. So they understand the topic better and reflect on themselves. The conclusion is already over with this part, but let's see some of the tips that will make it even better. Once you finalize your conclusion, there are several things you need to look for. So let's see a checklist to understand what these are and if our conclusion meets them. First of all, you need to proofread your conclusion and read it to others to get some feedback. After that, go back and ensure that it logically connects to the introduction. Also, make sure to end it with a strong note by giving a final impression. Last but not least, remember that a conclusion should do 3 things: summarize, emphasize, and conclude. So, summarize the paper, highlight its importance, and conclude with a striking sentence. With these points covered, you are all set with your conclusion paragraph. That's all we have for today. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications so you never miss a video from us. I'm Elpies from Tamara Research, and I'll see you in the next video.